What's up, everyone? Today we have another fantastic compilation featuring the best stories from our /Justnomil. These 7 incredible tales will shock and entertain you. Subscribe if you're new here. This story is titled Mother-in-Law Started New Christmas Eve Tradition and expects us to be there every year, posted by you/Express Relations 723. I wrote on here before about my mother-in-law and her having a hard time taking no for an answer. Dear husband and I got married after dating for 10 years. We always spent Christmas Eve at my mom's house as my parents always made him feel like a part of the family. When we were dating. We've been married for 5 years, will be 6 in December. All of a sudden mother-in-law is having a Christmas Eve party at her house and expects us to go when she knows we always spent Christmas Eve at my mom's. The first and second year I went for an hour, then left to my mom. Year after that I told my husband it's too much and I will not be going. He also refused to go to my mom's, so we stayed home that year. Last year we only went to my mom's. I just had my baby in August and I told dear husband I will not be going to his mother's house because I don't want my newborn baby around a crowd of PPL. And mother-in-law will expect everyone to hold her and she will not take no for an answer. Dear husband agreed, and we will only be going to my mom's for Christmas Eve as it will only be my siblings and parents. Mother-in-law keeps asking dear husband what's the plans for Christmas and when will they see baby. Am I being unreasonable if I don't let them see baby for Christmas? These are the PPL that make a fuss when they have to wash their hands to hold her. They visited her twice, one time rushed in my house expecting me to hand her over to them. The next time father-in-law followed dear husband from car to inside the house and hovered over the car seat waiting for him to hand baby over. They drool over her like a dog for a bone. It literally aggravates my soul. Mother-in-law doesn't even know how to hold baby properly. When I asked her to hold her the right away, she said, "No, this is how I'm comfortable." Ever since then I never let her hold baby again. Mother-in-law has given me extreme paw. And she's the only one because she makes stupid comments and upsets me. I just want to hibernate with my baby for the rest of the winter and keep them far away from her. But at times I do feel guilty because I love my husband and I want him to be happy too. He is on my side with a lot of things. And he does understand that I'm going through paw and it will take some time. This story is titled You All Warned Me. And my JustNoMom proved you right, posted by you/Amasters 2. This story is equally incredible. You were all right. I had made a post now deleted about taking a no-contact break from my JustNoMom. And many of you said I should just block her based on her initial reactions. I really should have blocked her from the moment I started the break. Since then, she's reached out several times. But every message has been about her feelings and how much pain I'm supposedly causing her. I haven't responded, but I kept the door open, hoping she might genuinely try to reconcile or apologize. I talked to my brother because he wanted to understand what was happening. And of course he relayed everything back to my mom, no surprise, since she has a strong hold on all of us. Instead of reaching out constructively, she left me a scathing voicemail telling me to grow up, mocking my feelings, and accusing me of using my son as a pawn. She then blocked me on Facebook and deleted our photos on Instagram. After that voicemail, I blocked her number immediately. What I intended to be a temporary break is now feeling like it needs to be permanent because of her behavior. This story is titled Text Her Back for Me. Can't Let It Go Pouting Face, posted by you/Duke. This next story will blow your mind. For context, my mother-in-law is your typical just know, overbearing, do-over fantasy, believes she knows better than anyone, entitled beyond, grandiose sense of importance. Took advantage during my early postpartum days, etc. Anyway, I've really stood my ground with BB2, and we're pretty light contact generally, maybe one visit a month if that, for the aforementioned reasons. Also we're just busy. So, my hubs and I are on a family trip staying in a hotel with our 3-year-old and 1-year-old. It's our last night and my older girl wants to have a goodbye dress-up party. She asks to put on lipstick to get fancy. Her sister and baby dolls are all invited. Mind you, my girl has a beautiful duality to her. Loves dolls. Bug, dirt and Dino obsessed. Etc. etc. We embrace whatever she's into. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. Mother-in-law had texted us in our group chat, me, her, my husband, her son, about the holidays, and I usually allow my husband to take over comms. But he's driving, it feels low stakes enough, so I respond back that we're on our way back from a trip and we'll get to the details later, and I throw a few cute pics her way to end off the communication, expecting the usual pleasantries. This is how our text convo goes after this: mother-in-law, safe drive home. Hope you had a wonderful time. I do not think that a 12-year-old should be wearing bright red lipstick. It is inappropriate and sends a dangerous message. As her grandmother, I am speaking my mind even if it upsets you. Stop doing that. Me, we had a fun goodbye city name party in our hotel room. And she wanted to dress up to host her doll guests and her sister. I'm her mother and I will always look out for her needs. And don't appreciate the accusation or implication that I don't know what's best for her or look out for her interests. Me, please stop with that. Mother-in-law, as long as she's not out in public like that. And I am never not going to stand up for them. Me, stand up against her mom? Why wouldn't I be looking out for her? Am I overreacting to this? Did I not react enough? Like the grandiose sense of ego importance is what kills me about this. As if she knows best better than anyone cares the most. She has known me for 20 years. Cannot. It made me mad, but at the same time I find it so delulu that it's like watching a car wreck. What does she expect will happen now? I go back to never responding. She gets no further photos. I want to disengage because it's unsafe for my peace. How would you have handled this? Should I write more? This was last night. Nothing since then. This story is titled "I Just Need a Gut Check About My Mother-in-Law's Comments About My 4-Year-Old Son," posted by you/familiar echidna 8905. Our next tale is absolutely wild. My husband and I, both men, have been married since 2013 and together since I was 16. We have 2 children, a daughter who is 7, and a son who is 4. In general, his mom is very cool, and I largely considered her to be a kind, fun person. I've known her since I was a kid, obviously, and she's never given me any kind of bad vibes or made me feel like she didn't like me or that she disapproved of my relationship with her son, except thinking he was too old for me in the beginning, lol. She's also been fairly normal about our daughter, and is definitely the cooler grandma as compared to my mom. We moved when our son was just a baby, so they see him on average around once or twice a year. They came down last week and stayed for 10 days. We did early Thanksgiving with them. My son is 4, so obviously he still likes to get hugs and kisses and snuggles whenever possible, and every single time one of us picked him up or gave him a hug and a kiss, she would make a remark along the lines of, "Oh, he's too big for that. Us doing that when you were too big for that is why you turned out gay." She kept trying to frame it as a joke. But now that they've left, and we're thinking it over, and it feels really weird. Maybe she didn't mean anything by it. But I feel really uncomfortable, and I think it would help to get outside opinions. Is that weird? She never said anything similar about kissing our daughter. This story is titled "Anyone Else Realize You Have Gone From You Fearing Mother-in-Law to Them Fearing You," posted by you/Spolubit. Let's dive into another shocking story. It's been a long 15+ years of knowing my mother-in-law. And I realized today after she visited that there's been a huge change in dynamics, and I'm proud of myself. I went from being so stressed about her opinions and deferring to her outrageous demands, negatively, and rudeness. She used to constantly insult me, my appearance, hate on my ability to do most things, think she has much more control over our lives than she should, and throw tantrums and threatening to kill herself when she didn't get what she wanted. We grew up in an Asian culture with strict deference to elders. And she's also a single mother and widow, which she never let us forget, so it usually worked. We have set boundaries. I have much stronger ones than my husband. And ghost her and or give her the same energy back when she's being terrible. It's been freeing to realize she has no power over me. She also knows I don't like her. And I have no qualms making that clear and will tell her that to her face. I also don't care if she hates me. That is fine with me as long as I have peace. Now, when she visits, she's on eggshells to make sure she's as polite as possible and always defers to me. It's been great to realize this and to reflect on this change. Anyone else have similar stories? This story is titled Mother-in-Law is Trying to Fight Again Over a Fight That Occurred 2 months ago. Right on time before the holidays, posted by you/Annalslaffup. This next tale takes us in a completely different direction. 2 months ago, husband and I went on a trip with mother-in-law, father-in-law and aunt-in-law. It was okay, but ended poorly, long story short. We got stood up at brunch and asked for an apology, which turned to mother-in-law and aunt starting an argument. Because they didn't want to say sorry, so they resorted to insulting me, saying my husband would never care that they didn't show up. Yes, he would, and said I was controlling and creating a divide in their family. A lot more was said by them, which wasn't even relevant to the whole situation. But that's the main gist of things. Anyways, we put up a boundary. Husband told them we wouldn't be talking to them anymore after they showed how little they respected us, merely over us asking for an apology for them standing us up for brunch. Today, we received an invite for Thanksgiving from father-in-law. Husband told him no, that he is not seeing or talking to mother-in-law. And aunt, and that he already knows that, so we would not be joining. This turned to mother-in-law taking over Phil's phone, saying they never did anything wrong, said husband, and I just want to cause problems. And fights. She called us disrespectful, and even after husband stopped replying she added additional texts trying to dig deeper to get us to respond. What the F is wrong with these women? Father-in-law has been okay. He is 100% in at least a verbally abusive relationship with this woman. She humiliates him at every moment, and he is a shell of a person. And never stands up for anything out of fear of her, so husband and I aren't mad at him. If anything, we feel sorry for him. I still can't believe this woman and her sister created this huge divide all because we asked for an apology for them telling us, twice. Told us twice. Within an hour before the meeting time, that they would meet us at a specific time for brunch, only to never show up, and arrived 1.5 hours later after we already left. Sigh. This story is titled Too Early for Mother-in-Law to Pop Up, posted by you/ThatConclusion9490. And now for our final story of today. So, my husband and I fly up north to spend Thanksgiving with his family like we do every year. This year is the first year we've had the baby though. And the whole conversation of holidays has been a complete shit show for the past few months. If you are curious, just look at my other post. It's ridiculous. We had an issue where I wanted to stay full-time at father-in-law's house instead of mother-in-law's. Eventually, he agreed to do it, but it was a big issue beforehand. Anyway, we're staying at his dad's house. We just got off the plane last night. This morning 8 a.m. mother-in-law pops up at father-in-law's. I have never seen or heard of her going to her ex-husband's house. And she just pops up in the morning. She immediately begins judging me for having my baby put in the swing while I pump, and her saying she would have been holding her if she had been here instead of having her in a swing. I tried to explain that I'm pumping. And it's easier to just have her out of my arms as I'm pumping. She was saying like she could hold her if she were here. But she isn't, and said she came over because she decided that she assigned family photos to get done tonight. She asked if we all had clothes that would match this color palette. If not, that's why she came over to take us all shopping this morning. Turns out I packed something for me and my daughter that matched the color palette, but my husband does not have something. She asked if we would all go shopping. I said baby still needs to have breakfast time and get dressed and all that, so we are gonna stay here. She looked disappointed, but eventually left with my husband. I am trying not to overreact, and maybe it's because I haven't had coffee yet. And I wasn't prepared to see her, but is she nuts, or not? Like, is this for real? And that's all for today's Reddit stories. These incredible tales never fail to amaze me. Subscribe for more compilations like this. What did you think? Drop a comment. Thanks for watching.